Okay, hi there, it's Kim Willis here, and I'm in Hong Kong actually maybe I should use this as a backdrop because I think it's more appropriate for a city like a Chinese, predominantly Chinese city like Hong Kong. Okay. Yeah, there's some kind of a festival thing going on. I've been in Hong Kong for 4 days. I come over here to have a rendezvous with my two sons, and yeah, we've been having a great time together. Each evening we go out and we have a bite to eat and listen to some music and stuff like that. First time I've been to Hong Kong, never been here before, always wanted to come, and I'm glad I came. It's a very diverse city. From what I've seen so far, it's a more exciting city than, say, Singapore, which would be the closest equivalent. Definitely more exciting city than Singapore, which to me, you know, the novelty wears off after you've been there a couple of times. It's kind of bland, but some people love bland. Not me. Yeah. Now, another thing that is typically, apart from, you know, Chinese architecture and so on, another thing that is very typical of Hong Kong happens on Sunday. And this is when maybe 250,000 Filipinos come out because it's their only day off. These are the maids, the cleaners, the nannies that keep families working properly in Hong Kong. 250,000 of them. It's unbelievable. Now, I'm in the quietest area here, but apparently there are parks all over the city that are just full of Filipinos on Sundays. Yeah, it's amazing. It gets very noisy. As I say, I'm in the quietest part, but further up there it gets very noisy. They're everywhere. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it before. And they come out so that they can, you know, meet up with their friends and so on. I don't think they spend much money in the shops. There's a lot of shops near here, so I imagine that some of the shop owners would be a little bit miffed by this happening. But anyway, it's part of the fabric of life in Hong Kong now. All right, now that's enough of the travel log. I'll turn around so you can see some of the Filipino people behind you, or behind me, and yeah, just give you an idea. There's a heap of them. I'll keep just sort of walking up here, but I've got a message for you today. It's always delivering messages on video. This is a good one. This is one of my favorites, and it's called The Hero's Journey. And you may have heard of it before, maybe you haven't heard of it, and that's okay, it doesn't really matter. But basically it's a technique that was developed by a Hollywood writer, and he basically said all good movies, or most good movies, have a hero's journey narrative. A hero's journey narrative, you know, so it's about the normal life that you start with, and then the hero leaves that normal life behind to go on an adventure that is challenging. There'll be all sorts of fears that he has to confront. There'll be enemies. There'll also be a few friends along the way. And I just think that I've written my own hero's journey, and I'm no hero, but the fact of the matter is that everybody has a hero's journey story that they can tell. And you can, if it's done properly, you can use that story to influence other people to join your tribe. That's the reason why we do it, or one of the reasons anyway. And tribe building, of course, is very important, and I've talked about that on other videos. But the hero's journey represents a bit of a foundation for people who want to build a tribe and want to build an ever-growing audience. So you want to construct a narrative about your life, but you need to do it in a way that is interesting and compelling. And as I said, everybody has their own hero's journey. Everyone. You have had situations in the past where you were challenged, where you were confronted with all sorts of problems and setbacks and just bad happenings, and somehow you found a way through. And it doesn't have to be business related. It could be to do with relationships. It could be to do with health or accident, something like that. Everyone, if you're older than, I don't know, well, even older than 20 years of age, you've probably got some kind of a hero's journey story. It may not be the penultimate story. It may not be the ultimate story yet. There's still more to come in your life. But you have a story, and it's a story that's worth telling. So in a marketing context, you can use that story to, as I said, to attract other people to you, because some people who hear about the story, they will lock into it. They will say, wow, that's really good. It's a bit similar to me. The other reason is why you should use it is that people will have more empathy with you when they realize how human you are. Okay? So so you're looking to really connect with people. And you can tell your hero's story in video form, audio form, or text, or via text methods, like a Facebook post or a blog post or something like that. And you create your narrative, but it needs to be structured in the right way. And the structure, you want to just look it up on the internet. Look for hero's journey, and you'll be able to see what the structure is. There's 12 steps essentially. Now, you may not be able to construct it exactly the way they do it in Hollywood. You may be able to do it working with, say, 4 of the key steps, right? Where you talk about the challenge that you face, the fears that you had, how you overcame it, and how you triumphed in the end. Even if it's only a small way, even if it's only in a small way, you don't have to. As I say, it doesn't have to be a big story. Small stories work great. Small stories work great, providing you package them properly, you tell the story well. So that's my message. It may seem a little bit obscure, but actually, I'll just come back to the Filipino thing here. As I say, there's 250,000 overseas foreign workers from the Philippines who work and live in Hong Kong. And that's a large number of people. And I bet that if I was able to talk with any one of these people, and providing they could speak reasonably good English, and a lot of them do, I bet if I interviewed them and I asked them a few key questions, they would be able to tell me about their hero's journey. I bet every one of the people here, and there are thousands here across the road, all over, and this is just one section in Hong Kong where they congregate. But every one of these people has a story to tell, a hero's journey. Think about what they do. They sacrifice so much for their families by working away from their families. Many of them have got young children who are looked after back home by the extended family. And they work 6 days a week. Some of them have been away for 10 years and longer. And every month, like clockwork, they send back a good proportion of their income to their families back home. Now, if there's not a story there, I don't know what is. But every story from these people will be a little bit different. There'll be a story of struggle. There will be a story of triumph, and maybe that would culminate in them making the decision to leave their family and seek work overseas. A very, very tough decision to make. And they would have had some setbacks along the way, no doubt about it. So, and these are just Filipinos. They're just mainly they're poor people, but they've all got a story. You have too. You've got a hero story. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Even if it's in very much encapsulated form, like 500 words or 200 words, something like that. You can tell the full story in other ways, but I mean, if you're doing it on Facebook, you wouldn't want to roll out the full story. But you could write something 200 words, and people could digest that quite easily. So look, I'm telling you, if you want to build a tribe, first thing is you've got to connect with people, and you've got to connect with them on an emotional level. That's the key, on an emotional level. So there's my thought for the day. I'll have more on this topic soon. Okay, Kim Willis, bye for now.